Hey, my medical coding family, how's everybody doing? Good to see everybody. Let's practice some practice questions. Get rid of this. So that can be off there. Thank you for the heart me's. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Hey, Elena, how's it going? Good to see you. Thank you for the populars. You're awesome, as always. Good to see you guys. I'm losing my freaking mind. My kid had to be picked up from the school yesterday by ambulance and taken to the ER. That's not fun. James popped his kneecap out of place during wrestling practice. And then when I got to the ER, they refused me to access to my kid. So I was fit to be tied. But anyway, he's fine. He's back at school today. And we'll be seeing an orthopedic doctor for that. And he had already been to the pediatrician the week before, and she noticed some hyperflexation in some of his joints. So she had already ordered him to go to physical therapy. So we'd already had some stuff going, but still traumatic day yesterday. But that's what you get when you have 3 sons. What do you guys think about this practice exam question that we have going on right here? We have E and M. I need to see about booking a one-on-one. I've tried to email it, but it's not going through. Can you help me? Right now, life is kicking my butt. I don't have any one-on-ones. I'm teaching a course for AAPC 2 days a week, Thursdays and Sundays, live lessons with the class. So we're doing that right now and then going live here 1 day a week. And then the rest of the week, we're doing cheer and medical appointments, was doing wrestling, but with 2 kids in 2 different sports with 2 different event things happening. It's kind of crazy right now. We have nationals coming up in November for Travis. We have to travel for Anaheim trip for that. Travis just ended up with a major surgery and had a bunch of doctor's appointments. And now James is going to be needing a bunch of doctor's appointments. So one-on-one is scarce right now. So questions, you need help. You've caught me on a live. Ask away. Get whatever you need from me right now since you've got my attention. Yeah, he's got a walking splint thing. It's super good. It's a really good one. It'll hold that kneecap and his leg in a straight formation. He's supposed to walk on it to keep from muscle loss and bone loss during this time, but he just can't bend his knee. So, and he can't do that in this splint. It's a really good one. I'm sure they're going to charge me $2,000 for it. But when I could have gotten it made in China for, 50 cents. But anyway, he's fine. And he is loving the attention because Travi, being the cheerleader of the high school, and the guy cheerleader, he gets all the attention at high school. And James got picked up by ambulance in the middle of high school and taken by ambulance. So he's getting lots of attention today. He was so excited. He couldn't even sleep last night. He was like ready to go to school today. He's like, he gets to be the center of attention today. So that never happens for Jaybird. So he was excited to go today, show off his cast. You know how guys are. They love showing off their battle wounds. Has anyone taken the CCA exam and does it have ICD-10 PCS questions in it? It might. It should have one or two, three, somewhere around there. It should have a few. I will try all your live sessions. I'm working doubles at work right now too, so I was hoping for it. Might have to get off, trying to get back. No worries, Miracle Mom. I wish I could help out more. Please utilize all my free resources. I've got tons of them on my website. Medical Coding by Jen. Under the free resources, there is free practice question area. There's free, even if you go to the social media tab and you go to the YouTube channel, right? Um, Go to the post page. There is 1,000 practice questions right there that are super helpful for practicing practice questions. You just click on what you think the answer is, and it'll tell you what the answer is. If you're looking for process of elimination videos, just go to the magnifying glass over here and type in the word process and hit search, and it'll find all the videos in my YouTube channel for the process of elimination. Look, there's a playlist with 44 of them in there. There's thousands of videos. You can search up whatever you need. I even have underneath the free resources how to do book prep, how to do book prep videos, practice question area, step by step on how to do anatomy, how to do your ICD-10 notes. All of it's free and it's just on my website. Go to the FAQs. That area has a bunch of your most answered questions, free grants, free classes, free anything that I found over the internet. They're right here on the FAQs. Plus, we have a Discord study group that you guys can um, join, and Go-Kart, Twinkle are always in there. There's practice question rooms. Every question has already probably been answered. And I have all these rooms that you can go into and search and look up anything. There's also a search feature on Discord where you can just type in whatever you're looking for and it'll bring up every picture or conversation anybody's ever had about it. Job postings are in there. There's a ton of stuff on my website that's totally free. What do you guys think is the answer to this question? Should also try to get all your stuff awesome. If you do the $5 a month YouTube membership on YouTube, you do get access to all of the book prep videos, all the workshop videos, all the duck class videos. Those are awesome. Just watch those replays, practice what I'm preaching there. Um, you can make notes from the YouTube videos from there. And then the $8 membership on my website gives you access to all the practice question area if you want a ton of practice questions. Hey, Twinkle, how's it going? I was just wondering because I'm now taking the course in college and I am finding it a lot easier than ICD-10 CM. Yeah, ICD-10 CM is the worst, but with AAPC's certification, there's only 5 questions on the exam for ICD-10 CM, and I like PCS better than I do ICD-10 CM too. I don't like looking up diagnosis codes. Ugh, it's a nightmare. What do you guys think is the answer to this question? Thank you for the almost 2,000 taps. There's only 18 of you guys. Thank you for the heart me. Those really help. I don't know what is going on when they're only a penny, but that brought in like $30 this month for just a heart me. How is that? I have no idea, but that's really cool. It's really awesome. Because I use that to give away YouTube memberships. Who was that? B? B is correct. Good job. Your answer will be on page 38 of the 2025 AMA CPT book. Ooh, hip picks question. What do you think is the answer for services not separately priced by Part B? Which one would that be? A lot of the CCA one, they'll want you to query doctors when records aren't correct. And then be sure you know you like procedure guidelines and stuff, like your lidocaine is included with your procedure for integumentary. You wouldn't bill it separately. Those kind of things. Thanks for the follow. 50? C? Oh, it was 70. It says that 70 is the answer. 50 was for non-prescription drug phase for other carrier priced items. And then the 70 is non-covered items. That can be found if you have AAPC's version of the 2025 HitPix book. That answer is on page 145. Modifier 51 exempt. Everybody know what appendix to run to find this answer quicker, right? You wouldn't run to these individual codes like 33,000, 50,000, or 61,000 or 49,000. There is an appendix in the back of the HitPix that you could run to and find your answer without going to 4 different codes. Anybody know what the name of that hip appendix is? Yeah, I moved a little quick with that one, MC. Is it Appendix E? What is our answer for this one? I just wanted to let you know that I did your boot camp and took the exam on the 17th and passed. Yari, congratulations. That is awesome. Let me screenshot that. That is so awesome. A lot of people are watching that $40 boot camp and raising their attempt scores by 20 or 30 points. That's awesome. I love that boot camp. It's 8-hour mini course. I go through all 18 areas of the certification exam for 8 hours. It's a long class, but I show you like in integumentary. Here's the guidelines they might ask you on the exam you need to know. Here's some of the types of example questions you might see and how to handle them. And then we do some together. And then I move on to another section. So really, really cool for I mean, 40 bucks and it's really making a big old difference. So that's awesome. That is great. On January 17th, that is awesome. I'm so glad I made a little difference in your life, made it a little easier for you. Thank you for the support of purchasing the boot camp. It's awesome. Anyone taking the medical legacy course? I got a couple of students who joined my course that are taking legacy too. Um, Tiffany's great. I don't know. I think she's got a new course that she's doing now through Bucks books, workbooks. I hope it's going well. She's awesome at creating social media content. I love, 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 love some of her posts um, that either she's creating on Canva or Chat GPT is helping her, but she's great at Canva, I think. She's great at putting those ideas down. I'm too ADHD, I'm too scattered to focus and get a thought out half the time. She's awesome. I hope her new course is going well. People saying B, it was C. This is on page 1005. On the next one, we've got according to a CPT guideline, what is a foreign body? Did you know it had definitions in it? A lot of your CPT book has so many definitions in it. They're scattered about, but it actually does have quite a bit of definitions, procedures, all kinds of stuff. It even tells you sometimes like what body parts are in a region, like especially for like radiology stuff. If you're doing lower quadrant or upper quadrant, it'll tell you how many organs and which ones they are that are in that area. So it's really cool, some of the stuff they've got. Appendix B has the modifiers. C, not D. Thanks for sharing the live, Alexander. Thank you for the 4,000 almost taps. Thank you for the heart me's. Those are awesome. Susan says it's A, unintentional. B says external. C says an intentional. And then A says any. Usually stay away from any, always, or nevers. But yes, A is correct. That is supposed to be on page 754 of your 2025 AMA CPT book. What about this one? We've got dermabrasion. I need some dermabrasion treatment from head to toe. Good Lord. Need to go through a sandblaster or something. I I got barnacles, by the time you get in your 50s like me, you start growing barnacles everywhere. It's too funny. I was going through my student list and seeing how many more assignments they have left in their AAPC course. Twinkle has one more left out of 77 assignments. I'm so proud. That's awesome. She only has one left. I think Natasha is my next one to have. She's got 57 of 77 assignments. She only has 20 left. That's really good. Ray has 48 of 77 done. And Miss Dorothy has 44 done of 77. So excited to see some more students complete the course. I had two start today. $900 if you just want the AAPC course and access to it, me as your instructor for a year, um, access to the live lessons, the replays. And I teach it like, I start with chapter 1 and then we go through chapter 20. And then we do practice exams and get ready for the certification exam. And then I'll restart it again. I do 2 classes a week. So we'll do chapter 1 and chapter 2 the first week, and then so forth. And then when I finish doing the entire course and we do practice exams, then I'll start it over again. So you've got access to me and the courses for a year. So if life happens and you have to drop out for a little while and come back for the live lessons or whatever, but it's all self-guided. You get AAPC's full access to the course. And I'm just selling it to you at cost, and y'all just join in, and that gets you a year off your apprenticeship too. So when you do pass your certification exam, you've got the full course through AAPC and me, so that you can have a year off your apprenticeship. And then if you do the 600 cases of Practicode, you'll have a full CPC. And sometimes they have a sale, like they had a sale for Practicode for like $150 at Christmas time. So, that's a really good deal for, 900 and then 150, and then you get your apprentice off, if you have no medical experience. But even medical assistants or front desk receptionists can even get their apprentice taken off for any of that kind of work. But anyway, you just need the textbook that goes along with it. So there's a $190 book that goes with it that you got to buy extra. But other than that, as long as you got some sort of ICD-10 CPT book and a HitPix to practice with, you can do the full course for that. If you want the AAPC course, like I said, you don't need a course. You can just self-study like I did. I have my CPC instructor, and my CPMA certifications all by self-studying, but some people really want the course and they need that time off of their apprenticeship. I already had 30 years in medicine, so I could get my apprentice off. In fact, I submitted my work history before I even submitted for a membership. I wasn't going to be an apprentice of anything with 30 years history in medicine, so I submitted all my paperwork before I even applied for membership or certification to even take an exam, and they approved my apprenticeship to be waived before I even signed up for a membership or took a certification exam. You can do that. You don't have to wait. Some people are saying B, some people are saying D. If you're going dermabrasion 2 segments of the face, what would we code? B? It is D. Good job. And you do need that 51 modifier, and you do put the code down twice. Your answer is on page 111. What about this E and M question? I had an instructor years ago and paid in full and did the test twice and failed. Can I still contact? Are you talking about contacting your instructor? But you can still utilize that course as a year off your apprenticeship. Absolutely. I used my college transcripts from 1994 when I submitted mine, including the employment history. So yeah, any coding courses prior for anything can be utilized. Have you ever used Blackboard via AAPC? If so, have you noticed incorrect answers? Well, I I do use AAPC and I do use Blackboard. I do have access to the AAPC course. I've paid for the licensing and have been in Blackboard. And have I found incorrect answers? Yeah, occasionally. You know, we're all human. Every book that you read, even this book right here that we are gathering codes out of, right? Your AMA CPT book, right? It has errors in it where it's written by humans, where humans touch things. There's going to be errors. Um, it happens. They write erratas, or however you say that word, every year and issue them and let you know where the errors are that you can go in and fix them. We're only human, so they hire humans to create practice questions or to retype them after they're approved in a committee and put them on their website and put them inside the course. Codes get deleted, codes get added. I think they have a 2025 code in the course that has been deleted. That's a HitPix code that is still a current question in the 2026 course that they still need to go in and fix because that code got deleted in 2025. It's just what it is. Even like Alice in the Wonderland book has a misprint in it where they rewrote the sentence twice. Publishers miss errors. The standard of language or of books or whatever is like a 7% whatever error rate. As long as you're under that, it's considered compliant. I make errors all the time. You don't want to see it, of course. You pay a lot of money, for a course, and you don't want to see an error, but it happens. It does. We're only human, and we report it and fix it, of course. Let me see. Miracle, let's see. I think it had to do something with diabetes. Hmm. Some of the G codes are for your Medicare patients. So Medicare doesn't recognize CPT. So anytime you have a Medicare patient and they're like getting a colonoscopy or any blood work done for like, or they have a diabetic glucose monitor, those will all be HitPix G codes, of course. Yeah, for those tests. What about this E&M? Which one would be a medical team conference with direct patient contact? One set of codes does not have direct contact and one does. And you guys, if you want access to these practice questions, which are great, this is from Pocket Prep. So you know it's not going to be a regular office visit. You can get rid of those two answers if you wanted to. Then you know it's just a difference between these two. One of them is with and one of them is without contact. People say in D. D is correct. That answer is on page 38 of your CPT book. These practice questions you can find on my website. If you go to medicalcodingbyjen.com, come right here to the little lady's wrist, and you just click on this little link that says Join Pocket Prep 750 Practice Questions. It's great. Just click on that link, go to the top word that says medical, and the top link right there says AAPC CPC. And they have 750 practice exam questions in all 18 areas of the certification exam. You can build yourself an exam like I did. You can do just E&M practice or just cases, and they tell you where the answers are with the page numbers inside the manuals, which is great. And they do have a pass guarantee. And for $40, you get access for 3 months and you get to take the app with you on your phone and do questions anywhere, or you can do it on desktop. But I love Pocket Prep. I've used them forever. And just having the page numbers and being able to reverse look up the answers when you get them wrong and find the guideline or the note that they're talking about really taught me a lot about how to utilize the CPT book for sure. I love it. Thanks, guys, for helping answer those questions. TikTok and TikTok for me. Twinkle and Go Kart. Thank you, guys. You guys are working hard over there. There is a contact inside your Blackboard. Every time you log on to your Blackboard, um, there's an email address that's listed at the beginning of your course material that says you can email them any any questions you have over the course. Let them know that you're finding whatever error it is inside the course. Email them and they will get back to you. See? Legal guardian? Good job. That answer is on page 765. Ooh, another E&M question. We've got subsequent hospital visit. We've got an admit and discharge combo code. And then we have 2 discharge codes. I always like to look at the answers first. Only look at what those answers represent. If one of these is the answer, then the guideline that is attached or the headers or whatever that answer represents will have to be in this question, right? Did we do a subsequent visit? Did we do an admit and discharge all in one day if the patient was there over 8 hours? Or did we discharge this patient and that's all we did today? That's what I'm going to look for inside the exam question and only look for those details. I am not going to read the question from beginning to end. That just fills your brain up with too much words. You'll end up with brain fatigue. 100 questions in 4 hours is really a marathon, and you need to do this with the least amount of, brain fatigue as possible to get through it. The last sentence says that we discharged and we spent 20 minutes. So we know our answer is yes. If you guys want access to AAPC full course, including having me as your instructor for a year for the 900, just go to the medicalcodingbyjen.com, go to the course tab, and pick that option. Don't forget to toss in the textbook along with it because you've got to have both those items. If you have an older version of the AAPC CPC course textbook, not study guide, textbook, even if you've got one that you ordered off of eBay that's a year or two old, that's okay. You can use that. You don't have to buy an updated version one. If you've got access to an old one, if your employer is buying this course for you and they bought the course previous from another staff member a year ago or whatever, and they have the 2025 textbook, you can use it. But you do have to have a textbook to go along with it because it's got the reading material for each chapter with it. So, but I don't care if you have the older version or a used version. Yes, D is the answer. Page 24 of your CPT book. Ooh, integumentary. What do we know when we see 114? What do we know when we see 116? The other two I don't know off the top of my head, but I know these two, and that's really handy to know if you know that one little trick about what is a 116 and what is a 114. Hey, Pennywise, thank you for the heart knees. Didn't you pass the other day? Was I mistaken? But I think you did. Some of the contents in the live have been filtered. Ah, that's so funny. What in the world could anybody be saying? Medicalcodingbyjen.com. It should be somewhere maybe listed on this page, but I don't know my exam score yet. B, I know I passed. Benign. There you go. 114 is a benign lesion. 116 is a malignant lesion. Yes. And how did we remove these lesions is critical. We shaved. yes, we're doing benign, but I believe the 116 and 114s are excisions. Shaving is different. We did not need any. That was on removal of the dermal lesion did not require any suture closure. So that's good. So shaves, 113s. Good job. Perfect. We are on page 92. We've got 2 answers that are in the ER and then 2 answers that are consultations. C and D are both consultations. One's in the hospital consultation and one's in a regular doctor's office consultation. And then A and B are 2 ER visits. So, with that in mind, skim the last part of the question and see which answer would be correct. My videos are coming up. Somebody asking which pens do I use? I like the Bic Intensity 0.4. Thank you for the 7 shares. Thank you for the heart me's. Thank you for the likes on the YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, let's give away 5 YouTube memberships. Just because you're in my YouTube live, I am going to give away 5 YouTube memberships. With those YouTube memberships, you get free access for 30 days to my book prep videos where I go code by code and you can just copy my notes. You also get access to all the workshops from last year and the duck classes that we did, 2-hour live lessons where we go over some of the toughest questions that are on the certification exam and why the answers are what they are. Love those videos. Looks like Tasha, Kanisha, Miss Rogers, I miss you, Marcella, Julie, and Vanessa all won YouTube memberships. I hope those help out, guys. And we'll give away some more YouTube memberships the next live. B is correct. Your answer is on page 27 of your CPT book. It was not A because we needed that moderate MDM. What do you guys think with this one? These are all under the 173 area. 40, 60, 80, or a 99? Do I have any plans on making a new video that could help with the exam in the next week or two? Yeah. I always try to issue a new video out every day of some sort. Like the one you do live where we can ask questions. I can always make a video out of this video that we're doing right now. What's your question? What would you like to know how to do? Y'all got my undivided attention now. So we got 17,360. Good job. Perfect. That answer is on page 116. What about this one? Which nursing facility code goes most correct with these standards? I don't know what botanical means. Oh, boot camp. Of course. Yes, the exam hasn't changed. And that 8-hour boot camp is awesome. I have 2 of them. Both of them are both fantastic. One's from July and one's from October, and they are both equally fantastic. Um, all I did was take that PowerPoint presentation and swap out the questions. So if you want a whole new set of questions, you can purchase both boot camps, and they're still perfect for current exam. You know, these codes are voted on by Congress, right? These nursing facility codes that you're looking at right now on the screen were legitimately voted on by Congress. You know how often that or what that takes to get voted on? They don't change as much as you guys perceive or think that one year is affected by another year very often. Um, these codes have been in place and will be in place and used for billing from that day on. And they very rarely go away or change. We might add some new codes as new technology happens, but the United States is the last to change anything. We're the last country on the planet to still be using ICD 10. Every other country on the planet is moved on to another form of even diagnosing patients. We don't change, and AAPC is a very big corporation, you know, for profit, and it takes a lot to get them to change and update things. It's a whole committee thing and stuff like that. There's been a delay in book publications, even with the HitPix book for 2026. They've recently sent out an alert saying they're not even going to change the exam till March something because for the HitPix part of the exam because the book got so delayed. So you're fine. And 100% that boot camp in the 8 hours of creating it and the value in it and watching it and applying those methods for the current exam right now is definitely worth it. There's absolutely nothing that I would add to it or redo right now to justify recreating another 8-hour video. It's perfect. And it's still helping people. Like, who was that earlier today? She watched it this week and passed on the 17th. Somebody just watched it and just passed on the 17th. So it is a great boot camp. If and when the exam changes enough to warrant me to recreate 8 hours of content for a video, yeah, I'll redo it, of course. But right now they're perfect. 100%. Yari, yeah. Good job, go-kart. See? Says Sean. Good job. That is on page 32. So 14s, 14O means we're doing Z-plasties, adjacent tissue transfers. I know that code off the top of my head. I don't know the 151s off my head or the 157s, but I think they're graphs. They might be graphs. So thinking about that, I'm going to be looking at this question and see what we did. For the HitPix questions, they are not updating any questions on the current AAPC 2026 certification exam from the 2025 exam in the area of HitPix. How many questions are on the exam currently for HitPix? 3. So they're not updating those 3 questions to any 2026 codes until March. Correct. If you're looking for those boot camps, just go to medicalcodingbyjen.com. Go to the More tab at the top, drop down menu, go to Video Replays. Inside that Video Replay tab, you will find all my replay videos, like the CPMA video, the CRC video, and the 2 boot camps. They're both equally great. Oh, and the E&M boot camp. I've got a 5-hour E&M where it's nothing but E&M questions and how to handle them, and even how to like medically code without multiple choice answers if you needed to do E&M. How do I even do that, right? It's a 5-hour course on E&M. I've got that for like 20 something dollars. So that's a really good video too. Yeah, the boot camps are an 8-hour mini course going over all 18 areas of the exam, each section, what guidelines you need to worry about, how to handle the questions in that area, and then we practice some questions together. You got to practice what I preach in that boot camp. Don't just think watching it in the background while you're yelling at kids or something is going to make a difference, right? You need to put whatever I'm saying in the video in practice and practice your practice questions as I taught you how to do it in the boot camp, right? Make notes about what I said and did and what my predictions are for what you might see on the exam. Be sure you focus in on the codes that I predict you might see. I'm not a wizard, but I've been around long enough that I can kind of guess in general if I was going to create a certification exam over integumentary, What's the tricky parts? What's the parts that most people that are novice might not know, right? And I can teach you how to navigate those areas. So pay attention to what I'm saying in it, of course. Get your $40 value out of it and apply it to practice questions, and you'll pass. It's raising people's scores 20, 30 points from the last time they took their certification exam. See? Good job. That's on page 106 of the 2025 book. We're back in the ER, but we're doing integumentary things. Looking to get my CPC, where do I start? With my pinned TikToks. If you click on my little blue logo at the top, up here, way up here, I've got some pinned TikToks that are, where do I start? I recommend getting the study guide. If you want to get your AAPC, CPC right, then get the study guide from the people that are making the certification exam, right? Don't buy study guides from random people off Amazon, right? Get the official AAPC study guide from AAPC or a used copy from eBay or something. Get the practice questions DEF from AAPC. I sell them too on my website for AAPC if you want it, the study guide and the practice questions. Get those two and get you an AMA CPT book. And those are the three things that you need right off the bat to get you started. Read the study guide, practice the exam questions inside it, then do the exam questions DEF, make notes like I've got it spelled out completely free on my website for you underneath the free resources tab on my website. Watch the free book prep videos on my website, totally free. Do the free practice questions on my website underneath the free resources tab. There's a whole page full of PDFs you can download, free flashcards you can do interactively on my website, free interactive practice questions on my website. Do them all free. Watch all my free live lessons. Do all my post practice questions on the YouTube channel. They're totally free on my YouTube channel. Tons of practice questions on my YouTube channel. You just click on what you think the answer is and it'll give you the rationale. But they're practice questions. They're not videos, but they're practice questions. Go to the live tab. Watch all my free live tabs videos for free. And you will do just fine. Hey, good job. You know all of these. When are you going to take your exam, Sean? 87. Yeah, on my website, Medical Coding by Jen, I got all these tabs across the top, like membership plans, course options, but the free tab has all those free areas. Don't be afraid of it. Just go in there and go see what I got. But if you come all the way across the top and hit the More tab, you'll find the Videos Replay tab, which will just take you here. There's the boot camp from October. There's the one from July. There's the E&M intensive workshop. There's the CRC workshop and the CPMA cases boot camp. I created that for an instructor who couldn't pass her CPMA. She had her CPCI instructor license, but she couldn't pass it. She took it 6 times. She asked me to create a video for CPMA, how to handle the cases at the end of the exam, and that's what that is. And I wouldn't change it for the world. It's still perfect for the CPMA exam right now. So anyway, those are the replay videos if you want those. If you want the $900 course that's AAPC, the full course, gets you a year off your membership. It does not come with membership. It does not come with exam attempts. It does not come with manuals. Nope. If you just want the year-long course and me as your instructor, my notes, and what have you for a year, you can buy that for the $900 right there. You do need a course book. That's the little course book right beside it. No, I cannot sell the course book unless you have access to the course. So don't try to buy that because I'll just refund the money because you can't have the course book unless you have the course. But if you need a course book, you can buy it right there. If you can find one used off eBay, then great. That's perfect. I don't care. But you can get access to the full course right there for 2026 AAPC's real official course if you want it right there. And then you can work on selling stuff, between now and you finishing this course with me on my Carry app or something like that for your exam attempts and your membership. But you don't need those until you get ready for your membership or your exam. Do you recommend the CPC manual or study guide? You cannot have the manual unless you have the course. The study guide is just a smaller, condensed version of the textbook, which is just fine. The textbook has more busy work in it, so both of them are excellent. They are word for word what you're going to see on the certification exam. And it's more data than you can read anyway, either of them. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. What do you guys think is the answer? On the 31st, this will be my second attempt, and I feel like I'm going to pass due to your videos. You are rocking these questions today. So, yeah, that's awesome. I feel like you're ready. You're just rocking them. Sorry, guys. What do you guys think is the answer? See, it was A. We needed modifiers on both of them. Your answers are on page 121 and 123. This one, which modifier? 22, 77, 52, or 58? These are often on the exam, along with 76. Can be on the exam too. Be sure you know about your little sidebar over here. This thing can help you out a whole bunch on exam day. Differences like same or different physician are often what they like to pick on. Yes, Diva, that's awesome. I have a hard time with that sometimes. I can get tricked about the diagnosing code being the basis for the actual appointment. Especially some of the cardiac events or combination things when they're being seen for a symptom of a combination code. It gets crazy. That hospitalization coding is not for the weak for sure. Hey, Bill, good to see you. How are you doing? Yep, does not matter as long as you get certified. That is correct. I don't care what school you went to. Don't even really care if you got an associate's degree anymore. They really just want you to be certified. They just need a box checked on that employment thing, and there you go. D. Go kart saying D. D is correct. Good job. Page 986 of the CPT book, apparently. What do you guys think about Cologuard? What does it screen for? I know you've seen the commercials. We deal with prostate, polyps, melanoma, colorectal cancer. What are we doing? We got about 20 more minutes before I have to go pick up James. He went to wrestling practice just to sit there and watch wrestling practice, but I got to go pick up James and Travis from cheer practice and wrestling practice. That's why I started the live a little early today so I could leave at 5:30. Be sure and pick them up around 6:15 today. Any questions Any particular area that you guys are stressing about or need help with? Happy to answer. You found it in the front of your CPT book? Yeah. Yes. Freezing your butt off in New York? Oh, my friend, one of my besties, um, gosh, I can't believe she's been one of my friends since Travi was 14 months old. Oh my gosh, and he's 17 now. So lives in New York with her mom. And she says it hasn't been that cold since the last time I showed up in New York. It's been really cold there. A is correct. Good job. Page 682. I was born in Rome, New York. My dad was stationed in Vietnam, and I think that's where his Air Force Base is located. And so mom had me there. Then we moved to Little Rock, Arkansas after he got his 4 years in. How much snow do you have in New York now? I heard on the news it was 4 inches in 1 hour. Oh, wow. Unsure of if you saw my question about how to practice quiz for hip picks. I believe it or not, I scored low on that section. There's only 3 questions on the certification exam. So I got, let's see. For hip picks, what you need to know is what does hip pick stand for, right? Each letter. Be sure you've got that written in here. Be sure you know that some codes update like quarterly and some codes update biannually, twice a year, and some codes update annually with hip picks. It gets kind of crazy back here. Be sure you know who's in control of it, who writes the codes, right? Um, and what act started all this mess. And then um, where is that? Right here. This page in your HipPix book where it says notable codes C, G, G, Q, and K. There's sometimes a question from right here. So know where this page is in the front of your book. And then these dates for the different codes, right? You've got some that are twice a year, some that are quarterly, but based off the different types of codes. So be sure you know where these calendars are and which ones update whenever. Don't assume it's all quarterly because there's probably a trick question in there. And don't forget you've got an alphabetical index in the front. So you can look up a lot of stuff up here in the alphabetical index. And then if you go to your very first code, which is A0021, you've got a modifier chart here that is 1 letter, and you got to make a 2-letter modifier only out of this chart. And you got to know where this chart is. And it's only right here. Yeah, we got a ton of modifiers back here, right? Tons of little, you know, AA through KK, MCS, whatever. There's a ton of them. This isn't what I'm talking about. But when you look at the available answers, you'll think that you need to come here and go SH. And that's what they're looking for, because there is like an SH or an SN back here, right? But that's not what they're doing. Their question isn't on this SH, it's on this table. When you pick up a patient in an ambulance, the site that you pick them up in is part of your modifier. And then where you drop them off at is another part of the modifier. And you got to make your modifier based off of where you pick them up and where you drop them off. It's got nothing to do with all the other modifiers in the book. So, one of their trick questions on the exam for their tough question is knowing where this chart is at. Okay. Be sure you know what QM and QN stands for and where that paragraph is at. And then the only other tricky thing is knowing the differences between short arm cast, long arm cast, diabetic equipment, or your J codes like chemotherapy. This caught me because I was hyper focused on the J code and the description right here. I didn't notice that drug names are listed below the code and the descriptor, and I couldn't find my chemotherapy drugs. They're going to give you a generic name for a drug that's probably listed down here in the drugs, but it's not listed at the code and the description. So you're going to be looking for something that's going to be down here in the blue or purple area. So that's the only tricky thing. I get hyper focused on words and don't look below them sometimes. So that's the only thing that can mess you up on any of the actual real codes is looking for something down here. Yeah. Because like your J7527, right, is called Azor Tress, but you wouldn't know it if you didn't come down here and look underneath here because it's called Everluminous or whatever. But anyway, yeah. Well, you only got 120 seconds, and if you don't know to scoochie down and look down here, it seems pretty silly that I missed it, but I don't deal with HitPix codes. So that's the only thing. Oh, in your colorectals, your G codes, your G01, 02, or whatever, um, know your differences between what makes a patient high risk and what makes a patient not high risk. Family history does not make them high risk, and you don't pick the high risk colorectal screening G code. What does make them high risk is if they have a history of polyps, personal history of polyps. That's when you pick the colorectal screening that is for high risk. So that's it. That should get you 100% on any HitPix question for your certification exam. Oh, Geneva, awesome. Thank you so much for coming and letting me know. That is so great. She said after watching my lives, she passed her certification exam. That is fantastic. Makes my day. Just to know I made a difference in your life to get you into a better career that could, I mean, the medical field is, I did everything from lifeguarding, retail, restaurants. I've owned my own restaurant, owned my own gas station. I've worked Walmart, soft lines, Pizza Hut, McDonald's, you name it, I have done it. I've even done repo home clean outs. I've done every job under the sun, but the only job that kept me in health insurance, what it is now, and kept me in a stable job and kept my kids fed and clothed and housed was medicine. And, no matter what I did in medicine, I've shot x-rays, delivered babies, um, I've drawn blood, worked for labs. Um, I've done everything under the sun in medicine, from the time you walk into the office to the time you deliver your babies and go home. I've done everything in medicine. Um, it's been a great career and very fulfilling and very rewarding. And I found joy in all of it, even the administration part of it, auditing physicians. Um, love it. So it's been always air conditioned job, which is great. Um, um, Rewarding in my community. I couldn't go to Walmart with, oh, there's Miss Jen, whatever, when I was seeing patients. Um, it's always been a nice, rewarding career, full of joy, sorrow sometimes, of course. But with the Roth IRA, 401k, retirement that you can do, and continuing education and advancement, even without being stagnant, and you get stuck in a career, you can always transition into something different, something new, something exciting. Aries all the way. I'm a little ram. I'm leaping from one thing to another. I've always been able to progress and double income and do other things. Love the medical field. It's been great. Even when I didn't have patient access or touch patients and just did administrative stuff, I always found joy and passion in it. So find a way to transition and make a position that I wanted, or there's too many opportunities. It was crazy. You can be a super user of data warehouses, um, risk adjustment calculators and things that they sell to medical groups. You can work for the people that make these manuals. I mean, if you look at who the authors are of these books and who wrote the freaking books, even the AMA book, right? Who are the authors? They're CPCs. You can do anything with this certification, and it's just one exam that you don't even need a course for. It's crazy. This career is what you make out of it, right? You're driven and independent and, you know, don't mind looking for answers without, too much guidance. You can do anything in this career for sure. Hey, you guys are picking 2 codes over 1. Good job. Perfect. That answer is on page 111. E&M, we've got a difference between 2 answers are for new patient. We know that by the 4th digit being a 0. And then 2 answers being 1 lets you know that your header difference is established or new. That's the first thing you just need to figure out. Are you new or established? Will your boot camp be helpful to pass if you don't take any courses? Yes, absolutely. It is its own mini course. But You can't just watch it and think it magically folds into your head and is gonna be, you gotta put it in practice. Practice with what I said. I give you predictions of what codes I think will show up on your exam. Go use that information. Look up those codes. What's the important guidelines of those codes, right? What's the tricky parentheticals in that area? Go find some practice questions with those codes in it, right? Utilize what's being said in those videos. Absolutely, it'll help. I'm new here to your page and you have a really important question. Great. What is your question? I am trying to study for my test and I don't know really how to go through and highlight and take. Have you been to my website? You go to Medical Coding by Jen, go to the free resources tab, right? I have all the steps there completely free for you guys, right? You just go to the free resources tab. Where's it at? Can you guys even see it? Can't see it. Right? Free resources tab. And you can go to CPD book prep, right? I've got all the steps listed there. You just click on the picture and it gives you the instructions, tells you how to make your notes for ICD 10, for your anatomy, for your CPT book, all my steps. I even have book prep videos right there. Goes code by code for the digestive system, shows you how to make your own notes. I've got free practice area where you can download free PDFs right there that are just shaking at you. And then you can do these practice exam questions. Just click on the question, it'll tell you what the answer is. You can do the E&M flashcards, the quizzes. Yep. You can download that PowerPoint presentation for the heart right there. It is a PowerPoint presentation that will fill in the answers for the heart. You can just download it right there. You can download that flashy acronym flashcards too. Do all that for free. I have the free FAQ area that is super helpful. Hey, Sherry. Ooh, I hope those access to those videos. You're going to have access to all the book prep videos on my YouTube channel for all the books. Don't worry about what year it was done. Like I said, these codes were made by Congress. They don't change from year to year. It's perfect. If I made the notes and the videos up, then they're perfect for your notes currently. Also, on my website, if you go to the FAQs, I've got the best list of free resources, which has free courses, free grants, free tons of information, including we have our Discord study group, which is completely free, full of rooms with practice exam questions in all areas. You can do searches. Even just go into my social media tab, go into the YouTube channel. You can search up and look up any video with the magnifying glass, like the word process, right? And that'll bring up all the videos with the process of elimination in it for you. You can click on the post page, which is a ton of practice exam questions. Just click on what you think the answer is, and it'll immediately show you the answer and rationale. Go to the live channel, and it's got all my previous live videos. And in the headers, it says what I go over that day. Like these are all guideline questions. This is our CRC questions. This is all urology questions. This is all musculoskeletal questions. This is all cardiovascular questions. This is all anesthesia questions. Yeah. You can go to the playlist and you can do book prep videos. You can do ICD-10 book prep, do the workshop videos. The duck classes are most excellent. They're the ones with the ducks on the video. That is 2-hour videos where we do the hardest questions that you're going to get wrong on the certification exam no matter what. And I show you how to handle those. Those are excellent classes that you get to watch those replays on. And even if you just click on, like the workshop playlist, you get full access to all those videos, and you can start any video and then just pause it at the practice question, give yourself 2-minute timer, and then release the video and see if you got the answer right. These are excellent. Most excellent. This one from December is the pink one. It was free for everybody. I did 4 hours of practice questions, and it's free for everybody right there. That's 4 hours of practice questions that I do 2 a year for free for everybody. Every April and December, all those are located here. But there are so many resources that are just totally free on where to start right there on my website. Don't forget, if you guys are certified and you want to get into a career, be sure to click on the project resume right there. It's right at her elbow. That's Jacob and Anna, right? They are CPCs, instructors that work with AAPC. They will redo your resume and LinkedIn profile right here for $90. You also get a job guide. They'll redo your LinkedIn profile, rewrite your resume and cover letter. And if you use the code GEN10, like Jennifer, JEN 10, you'll get 10% off of your resume services, and they'll send me 10% of what you spend, which is great. And they will help you get a job in the field. So use them. He owns a bunch of AAPC stuff, and including an instructor. So does Anna. They're in the know. They're constantly in the AAPC magazines. They're always writing the articles. They are here to help you guys. So don't forget about that resource. Also, my Amazon list is right there. So if you want to know what's on my desk, what keyboard do I use? What pens do I use? What do I have sitting within arm's length of me right now? It's all right here. Every bit of it. Every single thing that's on here I use for my desk. All right here. Even what my cats use. So that's right here. And then we've got our pocket prep, these practice questions that you guys are utilizing today. You can access these 24/7 on a phone app or on your desktop, and you can put in when your certification exam is going to be taken, and it'll send you reminders, study tips. These are great practice questions. You can build an exam. You can do mock time exams in here. You can do 1 question at a time, 10 at a time. You can build an exam, focus only on hip picks or focus only on E&M. It's great. And just having the page numbers where the answers are, so vital. I want them to make CPMA and CRC practice questions too. So I think they're going to do that. And I think I'm going to host some live lessons on Pocket Prep next month on their YouTube channel or something. So see more promotions. And in fact, I think they're going to maybe have a membership that includes free live lessons with me. So that may be coming up. I don't know. We'll see. The Pocket Prep's great. They're awesome. I actually have used them legitimately since 2019 myself and paid for their service. So they're awesome. What do you guys think is the answer? C? C is the correct answer. 17. Page 17. Sorry, guys. I meant to hit the next button and hit the wrong one. Ooh, ICD-10. What do you guys think is the answer for this one? But Sherry, I hope that membership helps you out. But to get my national certification, that's great. I missed 99 messages on TikTok. It went by too fast. So if you asked a question and I didn't answer it, just ask it again. All right, I got 10 more minutes before I have to go and pick up the boys. So let me know if you got any questions. Hey, Melly Bell. How you doing? Thank you for the 14,000 taps. Thank you for the heart me's. Those really help out a whole bunch. I got $30 last month from the heart me's. I don't know how that works out when they're only a penny, but that was cool to see because usually there's just like a $7 thing or whatever for the gifts on TikTok. But the heart me's, for some reason, sent $30. That was crazy. People are saying, see, we're not going to code out to the 6-digit. Oh, it's only 3 digits. This one is on page 763 of your ICD-10 book. You only needed 3 characters with this one. What about this one? We've got 2 that have a 0 in the 4th digit and 2 that have a 1 in the 4th digit. What does that tell us about our skilled nursing facilities? What do you guys think is the answer for this one? E&M is very difficult. Awesome. If you go to my website, Medical Coding by Jen, across the top, if you hit the More tab, you'll find a tab that says Video Replays. Click on that. I have an E&M workshop that is a total course on E&M. It's 5 hours long. It's $28. If you want to watch the replay, you get it unlimited amount of times. The link is not going to change. And you can watch this in your own time, but I will show you from baby basics about what's a new patient and what's an established patient, which can be very tricky because everybody gets the first 2 questions wrong when I do this workshop, to how do I do an E&M code office visit without anything other than a patient chart, no multiple choice answers. How would I pick out the correct answer? It's very in-depth, 5 hours. If you want to know how to do E&M like an expert, that 5-hour video is perfect for that. You're thinking A? It was B, 39 minutes. As long as you meet and exceed a certain code level, then you're good. All right, we've got a new patient, established patient, a consultation, and then another new patient. What do you guys think the answer is for this one? Almost 15,000 taps on TikTok and 15 viewers on YouTube. Maybe I got my YouTube settings wrong because usually we have like 30 people on YouTube too, but maybe my settings are still wrong. I hope access to all those book prep videos, the workshops, the duck class. I even have videos where it's just audio. I'm reading out the guidelines to you. You can listen to it in the car on the way to work or whatever, and you can listen while you're doing laundry or whatever, roaming through the house. I read out the guidelines and then tell you in layman's terms what that sentence means to me, how I look at that sentence. 'Cause some of the verbiage that they use to write one sentence in that book is so confusing. I don't talk that way, and I did 30 years in medicine, and I don't know anybody that ever talked that way in medicine, but they come up with some interesting vocabulary words to string together in one sentence that is the most confusing, I think. Anyway, super great collection of videos for that $5 membership. What do you guys think? Any other questions before we go for today? Anything I can help you guys out with? Yay, Mindy, that's awesome. I get confused on MDM as well. Yeah, it's fun. MDM is all about your MDM table on page 9 and 10, right? Understanding little things like straightforward means you only did one test, and it's just problems like sunburns and insect bites, things that will heal on their own without any intervention. If you're moving down to low, you might be ordering two tests, but you may have chronic illnesses that will not resolve on their own, that they need medical attention, or you've got acute injuries. If you move on to moderate or high, you're doing three tests on a patient, but then you might have two chronic conditions or unknown problems that you don't even know what the diagnosis is yet, or you've got exasperated issues. So, understanding those basics first is helpful. And then understanding that you have to meet a time limit or exceed it before you bill it. You can't do 39 minutes and bill a 215. If it's 39 minutes, you got to do over here 214. So, those kinds of things are super helpful with MDM. But so is that workshop that I have. The E&M workshop is great. What are we doing for this 50-minute visit? D? Correct. Good job. Answers on page 16. What about this integumentary one? They're all codes under the I and D. But what's our differences? Well, except for one's under debridement, sorry. One code's under debridement, that's D, and then the other three are under I and D. Nicole says B. Correct. Good job. That answer is on page 87 of your CPT book. Leprosy. What do you guys think? Is it more likely our answer ends in a 0 or a 1 or a 5? Kind of interesting. We're doing in my AAPC CPC course ICD-10 coding right now. So learning that the fourth digit has laterality or trauma-based information that could be related in the codes is really cool. If it's a 0, it could mean that it's unspecified. If it's a 9, it could mean it's like NEC, too much information. A 1 or a 5 could be related to laterality or a medication type. Kind of cool to know those little differences. Helps picking out answers easier. Everybody saying C? C is correct. That's on page 464 if you have AAPC's version of the 2025 ICD-10 book. Guidelines. Are we worried about depth, diameter? This one is diameter also, and this one is diameter also. Full diameter, diameter only, diameter widest, and diameter narrowest. It's not C. It was D. Good job. Your answer's on page 93. What does TBSA stand for? Lots of places for acronyms. Did you know your HipPix book has an acronym table in the back, like Appendix B or C? One of those is an acronym list. You have one on the back cover of your CPT book, and you also have one inside your lab and path area around 620 page number. There's another acronym list around that area also. Knowing where all three of those are during the exam is really helpful. A is correct. Good job. That's on page 121. Last one, mastectomies. What do you guys think? Did you guys watch the TikTok recently of the lady with the list of why she's not had kids, the list? And she found out that there is a mammillary line in females that we all have, just like cats and dogs, that if our body so chose to during pregnancy, it will grow new milk accesses that could be at any point from your armpits all the way down below your belly button. And certain women do start producing milk out of interesting areas. And yeah, it was funny. I watched her TikTok yesterday. It was just too funny. I like the comment, where was this in physical ed class, during school? They didn't teach us none of this in class. Yeah. There's so much about anatomy that is not taught. A. How about D for this one? This is on page 120 of your CPT book. Gotta skip this one. All right, HIPICs. Level 2 E codes and K codes describe durable medical equipment. What's the difference between E codes and K codes? And it is 5:30. You guys get your answers in on this one quick, and then I am going to go pick up the boys from school. I hope this has been super helpful, guys. Tomorrow we have our last ICD-10 class. Woo! And then we can move on to CPT. Love it. For my AAPC current course that's going on. Excited to see you guys tomorrow night. We'll work on some more practical applications, going through the book and looking up ICD-10 codes without multiple choice answers, just fill in the blanks. We'll also do some practice questions like we did last time on chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just a few little 2-question quizzes just to keep you up to date, up to speed on the business of medicine, your intro and parts conventions of the ICD-10 guidelines, right? What are brackets? What is a colon? Those kinds of things. Where's the 7th character located? Simple stuff. Just to keep your brain focused on those previous chapters. And then we'll do some real world looking up external causes, cancer codes, neoplasms. And I've got to answer a question about the drug table. Why didn't we use it for long-term use of medication? I noticed that question after the end of the lesson, that I didn't notice it during class. So I'll answer that during class tomorrow. Carla, I love you too. Thank you so much. I'm hoping that this is helpful and I'm making a difference with you guys. I mean, y'all are wasting your time listening to this old lady on the internet. So I want to make it valuable for you guys. I don't want to just, your time is valuable. You guys are busy, So I hope this is helpful. I want to make a difference. I don't want to just sell you anything. I'd rather you just learn organically and pass without spending anything. And that this is valuable, that I am making a difference in your life. Before I fall off this spinning planet, I want to make as much of a difference as I can. And getting you guys into a better career will help you and your family and your neighborhoods. That's the goal, right? Make a lasting impression for generations. Never know what'll happen. Your cousins, your nieces, whoever you're helping, I helped because I got you in a better career, right? That's my goal. Help everybody out. Don't forget to pay yourself first. Deposit that check into a high yield savings account, not into a checking account. Earn interest on every dime that is sent there and spent there. Then put your $7,000 a year, no matter what, into a Roth IRA. Buy your 500 index funds, the fund that has 500 companies in it. So no matter who goes down with the ship, there's 499 other companies that will bring the rates up, whatever. Doesn't matter. There's 500 companies in that thing. Pay yourself first. Do that first before you pay any bills or anything else going on. High yield savings. That's where direct deposits go. Pay all your bills with credit cards. You spend somebody else's money. Don't spend your debit card money. Because then they just hold on to it and don't give it back to you. Spend somebody else's money. Pay off your credit cards with your high yield savings account once a month. Pay it off. Don't ever pay a dime in credit card interest. Ever. Then you get points and cash back. Use that money to pay off your credit cards too. I get paid by my credit card companies to pay my bills with my credit cards. Do those things first. D is correct. Good job, guys. That was on page 8 of your HIPICS book. Ooh, this is a good question. Look at them timeses. How many did we have? 4 cysts and a puncture aspiration. Which answer would equal 4? That's easy. The code will mean 1, and then timesing it by something gets added to the 1. So the only answer it could be has to be D, if you just know the normal pattern of how they medically code CPTs, right? Anyway, I hope this is super helpful, guys. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow if you're in my course. And if not, I will see you guys the next time I go live on TikTok or YouTube. I will post a link up on YouTube for my next free live lesson as soon as I know when I'm going to have it. I hope this was helpful. Thanks, Twinkle. Love you guys. I will see you guys later.